Hi everyone, I am Adidotun Oyeloye, the founder and head of business development and growth at Katwi. Building a sustainable business naturally by default is born out of empathy and the ability to actually create a product or a service that people truly genuinely need. A service that not only people need it, but it solves people's problem realistically. You can have a very beautiful product and people don't necessarily need it. Or, I have a very strong background in marketing, right before Catway. So I want to digress a little, right? And there is this major piece of marketing, like they say, the product, the places, the price, the people. Those four P's are very, very important in marketing, right? And truthfully, to create and sell a product that has a market fit, you have to be conscious of these four P's. When we started Catway, how I started Catway was quite interesting because I wasn't looking to start a logistics company. And in short, I had started a logistics company and shut it down before Catway. That sounds funny, right? I was a young professional working remotely with a company out of Ibadan. So I served in Ibadan, and when I was serving, I was working in a company fully remote. Very interesting job, but I had a very critical problem to solve. You know, I was staying in Ologun at the time, and anybody that knows Ibadan very well, Ologun to Bodija is quite a mile. So I have to go to Bodija to get food every day, literally every day, right? And it was exhausting for a young professional, very, very exhausting. So I thought I was tossed in between, I wanted to solve my personal problem first. And I went to tell people I want to solve my problem, I want to buy a bike and get someone to ride my bike. And, people advise me, start logistics, start logistics. People giving advice. Having an idea is one thing, executing another thing. People giving advice is just something that you can easily get right. People told me, yes, start logistics. I went to Lagos, got 200cc bikes. Killings bike, two Killings bike, right? And I remember the first month of running the logistics business, I shut it down. And I'm like, I'm not. Let me just solve one personal problem. I sold the bike and got a Bajaj bike in Ibadan because I was acceptable. And one major thing I learned at that point is that if you don't carry people at heart, right, you can also solve their problem. So I never had the intention of solving anybody's problem. I just wanted to eat. So eventually, when I got a bike, I onboarded a rider, and the rider always get my food. And I have friends, like I said, I have friends in the city, and they also have similar problem. And we started, he would get my own food, he would get their food. Eventually, they were paying his salary. I was just enjoying. That happened for almost 2 months, and just down the line, the writer told me about people always stopping him and saying, "Are you a dispatch guy?" They would say that no, because he actually had a box, right? But he would tell him no because he just worked for me and my friends. So I said, "How many people I take record? I am always about how many people ask you today, anybody asks you today, and you know, you got a point. I just thought that this was a major problem, so I thought about it now and I have people in mind. I'm like, so people, if a lot of people have this kind of problem, and there's no way to solve it. And I can help them solve the problem. And we started Catway. Catway is a company that is helping individual business organization get their item delivered within the city, right? And we do this by making bikes available and stationed around strategic bus stops in the city, right? With Catway, you're able to request and make an on-demand request for bike and you get to the bike get them dispatch rider, sorry, get to in minutes and also get your item delivered in minutes. When we started, so I had a bike, I branded it, I started business. I wasn't so deep into the business, right? I started like just tell people, oh, so we have Catway, and I wasn't doing a lot of marketing activity at the time. So we started growing. I figured the problem was rampart, and we modeled a kind of system because okay, now I was trying to solve one problem. I never had an office space. I had at the time I had like 2 3 bikes. I think we also I can't remember. I didn't have an office space, so I was wondering where the bikes guy was supposed to be staying. They were not supposed to stay in my house anyways. So I thought about um the idea of having dedicate the bike to a vendor. And I can pride in the fact that Catway started the whole idea of bike dedicating dedicated rider dispatch riders to vendors in the whole city of Ibadan. We started the idea because I was actually not having an office space. So we assigned the bike to someone, and she was okay with that because she figured that that makes it easier for her to actually access the dispatch services. This went on and on for a month because I was not focusing on the business, right? So there's no need to think of growing the business and all those things. But eventually, at a point, I customized the bikes and I wrote the number. So I got a lot of people calling me. They want dispatch services, want dispatch services. I was like, okay, so is there a business in this truly? Then I went on to understand, do a little market research based on what people want and all those things. When Catway started, we used a very funny price model. Trust me, I don't want to talk about it. But right now, our retail pricing is 900 naira for up to 4 kilometer and plus 125 naira per kilometer for every kilometer above 4 kilometers. So let's say you have 5 kilometer trip, we are charging you 900 plus 125. If you have 7 kilometer trip, we say 7 minus 4, which is 3 times 125 plus 900. That's like our charge. Now, growing the business, now having over 10 bikes working, I figure that the problem you want to solve can have different audiences, right? We are focused on food and we're scaling beyond food, right? We are currently we having customers that sells fashion accessories, perfumes, and a lot more. So the problem was going beyond just helping people deliver and dispatch foods. And I figure that the retail pricing we've created have not exactly, help our customers outside food. The food guys are never complaining because we had them in mind. And this also tells me that and also inform us that Catway forever will be a company fully focused on solving problems of different audiences as long as dispatch and delivery is concerned in Ibadan, Nigeria, and Africa at large. This is at the core. Users, humans, people solving problems is the core of everything we're building today. Like I said, I solved my personal problem. That's why I built the product in the first place. Why I built Catway in the first place because I was trying to solve my problem. Eventually, I figured my friend had a similar problem. We've scaled to the point where the problem we're trying to solve is not just for a few folks, right? We have 10 bikes. We are trying to raise fund from people to get our bike to as high as 50 bikes owned by Catway. Very soon, we are allowing partners come on board, operators come on board. In the next, as the time of this video is May. Before end of June, we should have a mobile app MVP rolled out so people can access it. The early users can access it and start using it for delivery. So what we're looking at is big, but I will get to that. I will get to that in a minute. So come back to what I was saying. So I figure that there's a new audience. Those are the people that sell fashion items, bags, and all stuff. And those guys might not be able to pay the retail price. We've seen cases where people cancel orders, and for vendors that are listening to me, you see cases where people cancel orders just because the dispatch or delivery fee in Ibadan is too high. And trust me, I can't blame them. I probably at some point would have done something similar too, right? Because I look at the value of what I'm getting and value of my dispatch fee, and I can't just put it together. And always have someone probably closer to me to sell to me. It's not like food where I can crave for a particular recipe of meal, where I can crave for KFC meal, and I cannot get KFC meal outside of KFC, right? It's not the same as food. And as business owner, we should always know this. So I probably would not consider, and even if you're selling at a discounted rate, delivery fee might just be higher than discount. So it doesn't make any sense. We figured this. We spoke to our audience. We figured this vendor's pain. And like I said, what we always look to solving is the pain of the vendors individual using Catway consistently. And beyond the always on discounts, which is majorly targeted at mostly businesses are just trying to start out. Let's say you are barely months into your business and you're just trying to get your feet together, right? That works perfect for you. We found out that there are people, exceptional vendors in Ibadan, and I didn't get permission to mention them, so I don't want to mention names. We have people that ships up to dispatch 20, 30 packages in a single day. I have a vendor that anytime she does sales, she ships nothing less than 300 parcels. That kind of person, you cannot expect her to get a retail plan, you know, or get to start asking how much is this delivery fee, how much is this distance, or also going to our website to get the pricing, or reaching out to our customer service to get the pricing. That becomes a whole different ball game. We have different people, different demographic of people, but these people have something in common. They have started their business for long. They do a lot of volume every day, and at the same time, they have clients dispersed everywhere in Ibadan. So we come up with an e-commerce plan. With Catway e-commerce plan, you're able to do delivery for as low as 1,215 naira to anywhere in Ibadan. Yes, and I mean anywhere in Ibadan. The Catway e-commerce plan gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the fact that you are doing you don't need to start asking us every time, or going to our website or going to our mobile app to check pricing for individual location. If you have 200 orders to dispatch, you definitely know you don't have time for that. So this plan allows you to ship one for as low as 125 1,215 naira. We have the 1,215 naira, we have the 15, and we have the 1,750. Though the 1,215 naira is major target has some specific audience, right? So you have to be able to meet up with the our terms. But one major key thing is just that you are shipping bulk item out per time. So it's not like you are shipping an individual piece. You're not delivering one item at a time. The minimum for the list plan there is shipping 5 to 7 items at more than five items at a time. So we didn't box it. So the next tier is 7 item, right? So, and the last one is 10 item per time. That's the one of 1,250. The whole idea of this is so that we can resolve, and actually we can solve through issues that are happening. And knowing fully well that we have different market audience, we have different audiences for this our products, right? We have the food guys that can pay the premium that I talked about earlier. Now we have this retail plan where anybody can just come in and ship item. We have to consider the fact that we have e-commerce people that sell products that are not immediate consumable, like food that requires us to ship immediately, because we place a whole lot of priority on dispatching food. So when you give us a food item, we make sure we dispatch it almost, not even almost, we dispatch it immediately, so it doesn't get cold to the person, right? To the recipients, and the recipients can still, I always say this thing that is, someone wants to do something in the office. One of my colleagues said, people say, people get angry with their money. It's when you probably are owing them or something. The person said they have actually not tried an hungry Nigerian man. So I really understand. I mean, so when I'm hungry, I'm always like, the quote is there: an hungry man is an angry man, which is true all the time. This is true. So we place a lot of priority on dispatching food early on, and then we have this plan. This plan allows us to still do still hold on to your item, and we keep to our words. Same day delivery. In the history of Catway, we probably have just 5 parcels at most that was delayed to the next day. We've never had a reason to actually hold on to your package to the next day. We've never had a reason. So these are all different plans. We have the retail plan, we have the always on discount, and we have the e-commerce plan to help us do delivery at a very interesting, personalized rate, caring for you and caring for your business. And this same way, I believe every business person in Ibadan, every business person in Nigeria, every business person in Africa, every business person around the world should actually care for their customers, because in the actual sense, customer is king. If you don't have them, you don't have a business. And this still, the idea was what I was talking about earlier, having a product market fit, talking about the people, the products, the places, the prices. So we have to just, as Catway is doing this, having different price model to solve issues. You as business people also should have price model. People usually ask me, a couple of people have actually asked, right, that how are we coping with the fact that there is fuel hike, this and that. We keep the data, we listen to our data a lot, we keep record. Even when Catway was a month forward, I have the record of everything, every dispatch we made from the beginning of the company. We have every record of it. So I always listen to our data to know what we can actually do and what we cannot do. People have suggested that when can they, partner with Catway in terms of individual people that have their bike. They just want to be doing this part. They really don't want to be a roadside bike rider or something. We are working on that, and I believe this 2024 we would accept people coming on board. Another question I've gotten is operators asking how can they partner with Catway to, they don't have, probably don't have a bike man, they don't know how to target their audience, they don't know who their customers are, but they just have the bike and they really want to just let go of the bike. Why not selling? They just want to partner with Catway. We are currently open to that. We used to knock that off as our 2023 last year, but since a month ago we've allowed people come on board. So if you want to come on board, you can shoot us an email at catwayhq@gmail.com or at catwayhq@gmail.com, don't mind me, or at catwayhq.com. You can also reach us on WhatsApp 070-341-89934. You can reach us through any of this channel. We would be willing to have you on board. And the final question, can you invest in Catway? Yes, we are very much open to investment. At the time of this video, we are giving up to 25% per annum on every investment. We don't receive less than 200,000, and that is changing probably this June. We are May 2023, that's May 2024. Next month we might change some of this policy and our investments so that we can be able to sustain the business and sustain our investments without any default. I've ever defaulted before. Catway has done everything possible to make sure that we do not default on our investments, and we are keeping up to that. So that's why we're always looking into this too. So it has been a very interesting time to talk to people, both people that are interested in business and people that are interested in Catway. It's been a very awesome time talking to you guys. I hope to show and talk myself about Catway, show more of my face, talk to people about business, what I've learned in startup. This Catway is actually my first startup. My first startup is a fintech company which was focused more on saving investments, and we did 150 million in savings at the time before we tried to pivot the product. Then we shut it down. Right? I've learned a lot of things. I have a lot of experience of up to 8 years, and I've worked more with startups, so I understand the ups and downs of a startup. Genuinely, I actually understand the problem every startup can easily face at the starting up stage. I've started business, I've scaled the business. Catway is one of the best view business. I'll be scaling really hard, and I understand the whole process. I've been learning a lot from the process. I'll be very open to sharing more of my ideas with you. Once again, I am Adi. I'm the founder, head of business development and growth at Catway. Thank you.
So today I'll be explaining something on goal setting, achieving the set goal. I talked about last week, right? But I'll be addressing it even more insightful today. I think last week I just talked about inter-team communication, right? But today we'll be talking about goal setting and achieving your goal. So now, remember, let's go from last week. We'll come back to this, but let's go back to our last week. There are guides to setting goals. SMART goal is just a kind of holistic guide. But beyond this, we talked about this a little last week, but beyond this, there are many ways to set a goal and achieve that. The first thing, I've said something, everything every human does start from where? The mind. If you cannot see it, you cannot get it. And sometimes seeing it is not equivalent. We mean something up that if you cannot see it, means that you cannot do it, or you have not done it, or you have someone that cannot do that has done it. No. Seeing it is going to meet people that have done it. The word is the third word now. So going to meet people that have done it does not necessarily mean that you go all the way to go and see them. It can be YouTube. It can be checking past record. Before you were here, were we doing it? It can just be that. Right? So now, if you cannot see it, you cannot get it. Now, the first thing in goal setting or acing your goals is that you have to visualize your goal. You have to visualize it. You have to see it. See it. Hear people testing, people that have done it, people that have probably even done it over and over again. Go and listen to them. How do they achieve goals? Go to YouTube, search how do people achieve high-end goals. See it and open up your mind. Don't box your mind. How can I achieve this? Because everything starts in your mind. Who will say that being in good health also affects psychological health to matters. It means that sometimes the reason you've not achieved that goal because in your mind you have said you can achieve this goal. And see, mind play is powerful. And do you know one thing you can use to help your mind? When you are setting a goal and your mind tell you that I cannot achieve this goal, I'll start that way before we go to all this smart goal. We'll talk about the use goal. I'll start that way first. When your mind tell you you cannot achieve this goal, do you know what you begin to do? Begin to strike out reasons you cannot achieve the goal. Oh, my riders are going to mess up. How can I stop my riders from messing up? Oh, my phone is going to go off. How can I stop my phone from going off? This is going to happen. How can I stop this from happening? Because many times when we think of our goals from the standpoint of the goal itself, we might find it unachievable. You know, last week I told her something. I said what they were doing doesn't make sense. But when I said we are too broke, we are not too broke. But the idea is that we're not reaching our goal. We have a goal. I told her last week that I have a goal of eating what? How much? And I have to eat it this month. And by next month I must be stable yet. I'm not eating it coming down. I must be stable within the space for December. Very stable. And anything that will make me not be stable, I will crush it. It's a game of pride. I understand operational efficiency. But I try to nullify the pride by reaching out to them that okay, let's do this. So first thing you have to look at it too. Those emotional reasons why you're not hitting your goals. You repeat them, analyze them, cut them out, and go. Be audacious. Be intentional at hitting your goal. Now, first thing that set specific goals. Now let's use capital as an instance. We set a goal that in November we have to do 100k. Are we together? Achieving the 100k, we will around what? 60k, something 60, 70k. Unless we do 100k and above. Is that I believe we are doing now. I worked on getting those people back. That alone has moved us from here plus daily for the past 1 week. They've been doing daily or minimum of those two people, except on Saturday. Are we together? So the first thing in achieving your goal, remove every reasons, remove every blocker in achieving your goal. Now we had a goal 100k in November. This is where time comes to play. How do I measure my goal? I want Catherine to go from where we are to is a specific goal. I want on the Catherine to go from this to is it achievable? Yes. One, I look at Catherine past figures. I see it's achievable. Secondly, people can do this. I ask questions around. It's very much attainable and it's very much realistic. So in setting your goal, one, as much as I'm putting them in the confines of smart goal, is it put them in setting smart goal is good. It doesn't necessarily make you achieve your goal. Setting smart goal, you can just extend the date now. I mean now, you just shift the date forward again. Shift the date forward again. But you have to be intentional. One, it starts with your mind. You have to be very, very intentional. Secondly, remove every reasons, both emotional, non-emotional bias, operational bias, frictions in achieving your goal. Remove them. When we say stuff like zero cancelled orders, like let's start with this zero cancelled order again. Let's come to this. Zero cancelled order in a single day. But I handled the phone that day, honestly, with the mindset that I will not cancel any order. In the state of my interest, I was intentional that this day we will stop cancelling order, and I mean it. And see, it's now becoming a law. When any customer requests a refund from a CSR that was on duty, it will affect. So you have 100. We will set goals around it. Once they request a refund, this is how many points out. If your points go lesser than 40, the same way we have it for riders. I mean, now the rider is immediately guys there for some certain law. See, let me help you guys set a mindset for goal. The truth is that in your personal life, you need to set goal and be serious. Because since I told the riders this one, you cannot be unserious. You cannot be unserious. You have to be intentional about growth. You have to be intentional, right? You have to be intentional. You know that you can control your experience and your environment because of the goal you intend to achieve. I'm being very serious because of the goal. You can start in a kind of church because of the goal you want to achieve. Sometimes the reason we are not meeting a goal because your mind is going, and you know what's name? Some things is a build-up of things you learn. Now you won't go. Don't think that is where you go. Okay, when they told you, I'm balloting that, you think that was like my right. All of you, ideally, if in a country that is functional, all of you should be married with kids. The point is, you have to set goals, and life is about goal setting. Generally, you can live a life of, how many of us understand to say you are living a fasted life? You edit, you're living a fasted life where you probably control your meal all the time. A life that can be a goal setting like that, your mind, the way your mind works, I know that you can change your mind to think in a pattern. If you set goal long, you start by setting goal mechanically. Over things, I want to cancel the other today. Okay, when you look at why that cancel, maybe you cancel the other day, you write it down, this is why I cancel the other. How can I do better at this thing? Over time, your mind will just work naturally in that sphere without you setting goal. Your mind just know that I cannot cancel order. I don't necessarily write it on a book and paper. Why is that? If you notice, I really cancel order when I go to CS. I say at least even if that day you cancel the order, which is good, I don't cancel order easily. See, and let me tell you something. Why you are setting your goal again? There's something you must put for constitution. You must have grit. Let me say this one to ladies. This for ladies. Have you ever been in a situation where people say, let us see where it is going to? But you see, we've heard this now that guys say, let's see where it's going to. Hope you know that thing is going nowhere. No, I'm being very honest. You know, if a man tell you next year is going to go nowhere, because part of a man that knows what he wants is to go after what he wants. Both male and female. Now, when you say let's see where to go, and you know it's going nowhere, why do you think that if you set a goal for country or you set a goal in personal life and you're saying let me see how it will go, you will not get the results. You must be intentional about getting those results. You must be intentional. You must have, number one, your mind must be aligned correctly to the goal. That's one. Number two, you have to research your goal if necessary. Right? You have to research your goal. What's number one? Your mind must be aligned to the goal. Number two, you must restart the goal if necessary. Number three, you must do what? Have grit on the goal. We don't set goals that we know we can meet. If you can meet the goal, then why set the goal? When you have a goal in mind, you must have it in mind that you must have the grit that this goal, I want to get it. And you don't set goals that you know that they are clear. I can meet it. You must what? Confirm the goal, be sure, align to our goal. You must set our goal and know that this is achievable. If you do this, that's what you see when I say if the writer is not of this number of TV, this, we can get this. People when I talk about investment, that's how we go about it. This is what where we are, this is what is attainable, this is what is realistic currently with our highest cost of rider. We come to the average, okay, every rider must be able to do this amount of delivery per day to help us achieve this investment in a year. If you can achieve everything in a year, or put our perform obviously, and we are not performing balanced out, then in the next year we should achieve this. So in 2 years, every capital investment should be fully liquidated without me adding a single penny to it. Is that the way we achieve? We look at it. Is that the way we look at it, Mr.? So if that's the way we look at that, to be able to achieve an investment goal, there's something that people also miss out a lot. People forget to audit their goals. People forget to go back and see what have I done wrong. We don't have a goal in mind, and you are not sure of where you're heading to. It is not happening. Number one is align with your goal. Number two is research your goal. Number three, have a grit on your goal. Then number four, you audit and evaluate your goal over and over and over again to be sure of what you are missing out on, so you can get it. Don't live a life of mediocrity. Don't live a life of success and failure. Like what Master Rose said, they have patterns. And I agree. They have patterns. They surely do have patterns. So when you have a goal, don't say goal that you obviously say that to bank. Don't say goal that is not audacious. That the goal is just one thing you're just there. Set goal that audacious. That scares you. But what are the scares? You must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and they must have a time frame. What's actually your goal? Do you have any question? Thank you for coming to my TEDx talk. Good day, everyone. Yes, good to see you guys again with smiling, bright faces. So yeah, in our last section, we spoke about goal setting and reaching our goals, right? Today we'll be talking about prioritizing our tasks, right? That's what we're talking about today. And there's something I say a lot about activity. Who knows the quotes? All of us know the quotes. The popular quotes. Activity does not equal productivity, right? And I say this a lot because many times, even while you work for a company, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting the desired result from your daily activity. Take for instance, I remember some time ago, our HR, I did an auditing. I asked her that how has been my performance. So she's supposed to give me a performance report, and she said the summary of her report to me was, you need to focus on what you are paid to do, right? And even I own something. People with one talent doesn't have an issue. People with multiple talents are the people with the real issue. Especially when it comes to prioritizing the talents, because life in itself is about priorities. I mean, you want to decide every time. Humans, I think there was a research that said that humans make millions of decisions in a single day. Right? There's a research about it that humans, no matter how small, we make millions of decisions in just a single day. It means that we have to always know what to decide and how to decide what to decide correctly. Right? And those things are very critical to our livelihood. They are critical to how we perform. There are books like seven rules of highly successful people. We have books like that. We have books by Chelsea that said it's that wrong. And about efficiency, about effectiveness, about prioritizing your tasks overall. Are we together? So today we'll be talking about prioritizing our tasks, right? Let's say for instance, let's say you make clothes, right? If you have a dress to make today, that's just not to make that dress, right? But when you have 10 dresses to make, how do you exactly prioritize them? The one that has to be delivered first. And now, it is easy to say that because we're looking holistically at it, right? And when you're talking about now, you have a big conglomerate, you have a big business, you have you have staffs, workers, and other stuff. That's the way you prioritize and you do your tasks differs. Take an instance, you are CEO of a clothes company where you actually make a lot of clothes. You guys make as high as 100 clothes in a single day. and you yourself enjoy the intricacy of the business, even down to sewing. You know that you cannot sew 100 people by yourself. You cannot pattern 100 people by yourself. You cannot stone 100 people by yourself. You might just pick a side of the business that you want to focus on. Is it the business development? Is it the designing? Is it this? Is it that? Then you either delegate the rest or remove some from your system and all those things, right? And I will be approaching this this particular training session 2 ways. We'll be using this is an OR matrix. It's a very popular matrix that says all tasks can either be important or not important. All tasks can either be urgent or not urgent. This is for urgent and important. This is for not urgent and important. This is then okay. We have urgent like this. We have not urgent. Then we have important, not important. So we have this is not important, but urgent. Then we have not urgent, not important, right? And not important. So now, it's an example of something that is urgent. So someone give us an example of something that is urgent and very important in cattle operations. Fueling. We have fueling of our bikes is always important and very, very urgent that we do it. Now, in every task we do, our tasks can either fall in. Our tasks can fall here. So give us an example of tasks that. So for what you do, so let's take we have to take one as an example, because cattle operation can be big. It can make everything very started. So before we ask our HR what's important to you, and she say no that this is what's important to me, and we ask what's important to you, he will say no, that one that he says is not important. So most times tasks are driven, this kind of thing is driven based on team and based on team and based on individuals. So let's make it good. Let's use Catway CSR and operation team. Let's fuse them together. So we have fueling as important, as urgent and important, right? So what are the tasks that we know that in our daily itinerary we can schedule to be attended to later? Give us an example. We have so it is urgent. It is not urgent, but it is important. It's important we do it, but it's not urgent. There's something we do every day that is important, but it's not urgent. Doing our report. Our report is necessarily not urgent, but it's important to do them. So we can schedule to do them later, right? As a team, operations, and we are talking about operations and what CSR. Now there is a task that is urgent, that is urgent to us because we want to make money, we want to reach our goal. Let's say our goal is making 500k every day for local delivery within Ibadan, right? But we have a goal that is very urgent to us, that is going to affect our overall results, but not necessarily our daily activity. Let's get the point. So for for urgent and not important, we are using strictly Catway CSR and operational split now. Now there's a task that is very urgent to us to this 500k daily, but it is not as important. Now let me help us. So before we go dive into it, so you see any task that falls as important and urgent, we have to do it. You have to do it immediately, because most time, even in operation, it causes frictions. So you have to do it immediately. That is not urgent but important, we have to do what? Schedule it. And that's why our report is scheduled. Our report should be done latest 10 a.m. every other morning. So if they schedule to reports, but it's for something they did yesterday. So the report for yesterday was ready maybe around 9 something today. The report for today will just be ready around maybe 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Are we together? But it is important we do it. But it's not urgent. It doesn't have the alacrity. It's not time bound. Or let me say it's not time bound. It might be time bound, but it's not affecting the instance of time. Now, if you don't fuel me now, right now that you need for, you will not be able to do anything. So it is time consequential. Let me use that. That's a better word to use. It's time consequential. So that if you don't do now, you will see consequence almost immediately after. Now we have this here. So because we say they are not important, does not necessarily mean that it is not important on that thing. It does not necessarily mean that it will not affect our overall good. But it means that it is not. It is this might necessarily not be time. One, it might not be time consequential. Two, it is not something that you have to be involved in compulsively. So let's say a task, TSR and fit. What's that task that you know that will help you get your goal, but you don't have to be involved in it. If someone else can do it, if someone else we can give it to someone else. So every task here can be delegated. Task here should be done immediately. So let's have it. We have every task here done immediately. So now, what task is urgent? The reason I'm putting this forward first now is that when you know tasks that you have to do immediately, you have tasks that are scheduled, you know that you can take place, you don't want to eliminate. That will help you know the task that is urgent and not important. So what task in operation? Doing inventory, very good. It is, I know that it's urgent to be done, right? No, doing inventory will be here, will be not urgent, but it's important. So we can schedule to do it, doing inventory. As a team, something that I said it the other time, right? Well, we kind of went so poor on it, but it is actually getting leads for new customers. It will affect our goal, quite alright, but this can be delegated to the growth team. That's active in this company. Let's be realistic. Who sent the last BC house on getting customer? Was this CSR? Okay, so sending visit to a customer. Is it something that affects CSR good? Getting 500 every day. If you send this out, are you going to get customer? When we send this out, did you get customer? We did not. When we send those SMS. So it is confidential to it can help our goal. Was this CSR that did the work? or sending this out. It is as much as it is urgent, it is not important to the team itinerary, daily itinerary, so to put. So sending those BC outs can be delegated from that team entirely. Also, beyond this, look at so this, let's take the urgent, not important as a buzzword. Now, look at it as from a lens of what are the tasks that I can delegate or I have to delegate. Servicing like, so who do you want to schedule it to? You want to delegate it to? No, you are now. That is when you are doing your personal. That's the good one. For this, like I said, this thing we are looking at it from a team perspective. Looking from a team perspective can be more complex. So we'll bring this down to you now, so you can see it. I'll use myself as an instance now. But yeah, as a team, because both of them are in now. So now let's make it easy. Let's use myself as an. But you can be telling my task. Now I'll be telling you what category does my task fall into. So it makes it impossible to see. This important and urgent. Do it now. Not important or not urgent and important. What I say? You do it. Not important or urgent. Delegate. Not important and not urgent. So yeah, be giving me tasks like this. You can't say, what do I do every day? Now, if a salon does not do this thing, nobody's going to do it. Making sure the vendors do their payments, but I can delegate it. So this kind of thing are part of the, when they say things that so they can tell activity, this activity does not cause productive. It's part of the things that are not productive. It's because of I am sending reminders. When I'm done sending reminder, in my mind, I've worked. But the problem with not, you also understand this thing. You will know how to use your talents correctly. You will know how to improve your talents. Actually, you will know how to. You'll be more productive. I've said it repeatedly after that. I don't know if I would have said before that I'm not functioning at my highest because you guys are not ready to use me. You guys are ready to use me for menial works that someone else can do, and our CEO is not doing it. So that's number one. Let's say something else. But there are things that if I don't do it, nobody can do it. Interfacing operations and texting that is remote. So that's something I may not be able to necessarily delegate at this time. Interfacing interfacing with all team, leading all team. Okay, let's not call it interfacing. It's leading all team. At the moment, I lead all team. But this is the compassion task. It's not this leading all team is too scattered. It's too big. So let's break it down. I do approve of money. I approve all funds in capital, right? Should that be my task? For now, but I can delegate it. So now that's how to become highly productive in capital. The same task as my task. So approving of money, then move it. Approving of money. Interacting with stakeholders. This is communicates to the stakeholders via channel have failed. So they cannot come for a meeting. Stakeholders cannot come for a meeting. This can be delegated to you. So approval of plenty funds to that account, to our operations account. Okay, yes. So I can always schedule that. I want to do that every 3 days. So that's the task that I'm scheduled. Approval of operation funds. But ideally, any meeting that does not affect my immediate results goes here. Are we together? Any meeting, any activity that does not affect my immediate results. However, I have to get them done. They go here. Are we together? Now, give an example of not urgent, not important for me in Catway. Take an instance of buying Catway mesh for stars. It's not important, it's not urgent. I can delete it. But buying of mesh is important but not urgent. I can take someone to be in charge of it. But those things are, when you running errands are important, but they're not urgent. I can schedule one in my errand. How many of us cook during the weekends? We have market days. Like, okay, all of you just jump into market, you just go to market. But you have days in your, before you go to market, most times you put in your mind you're going to market. Market errands are always scheduled. As much as they are important, they are not urgent. There are things that I can do that so other people can do in this company. I have to move them to as my own not important, but they are urgent. Do you know the reason they are not important but they are urgent? Let me give you a clue again to this. Because what confuses me the most is it is not important. How do you say my tax is not important? I've been thinking of it since I've been talking that. How do you say my tax is not important? Every task that you can have someone do and they will get the result you want to get are not important to you. That's why I said that for Catway CSR team, talking to a new customer is not important to them. Even as much as urgent, it's not as important to them. Because they can get the good thing to do what? To do it. They can get the good thing to do it and they will get the best result. Who got the new client who goes back? Is it safe that got it? It was good thing. They have to say that as much as to your own team, it's what? It is urgent that you get it. Because getting it affects your 500k. I mean now. But it's not important for you to do the work of getting it. The good thing, it is what? It is important and urgent. Again, so if you have to do a map of good thing, what should be here is getting new customer. Can you see that even in a company, you don't need to join the bad wagons? When I say bad wagons, I'm not saying that bad guys or something. Well, you don't need to join anything that just like, everybody's doing this, I have to do this. That may not be an important task. To the HR, imagine HR. What is here for them? Urgent and important. Hiring riders. You know that in HR, let's use HR for instance now. Hiring every road is important to them. Hope you know. Iron every road is important to them. But if I ask them, hiring riders and this thing is here, hiring CSR is here, where is hiring marketing ops? But tomorrow we can sleep and wake up and that hiring will this here. You understand? That's how to appropriate your task. That's how to visualize your task. That's how to do your task. Because once you're able to get this arc, you do your task better. You know what you don't need to do your thing. Are we together? You know what you don't. Who is confused? Who is confused? Are we confused? Is it simple enough? Now, let's move to another approach you can try to use. Is A, B, C, D, E. Now we know, okay, we've used the quadrants and the matches now to know all our tasks, one important. Now, I want you that among all these tasks that I do the right written, which one, even inside the task, there's priority. Inside the important and urgent, there's priority. I mean, now, there's one you're chasing first, the one you're chasing next, the one you're chasing next. So now, A, you find still A1 or A hiring now. We have A1 as hiring riders. We have A2 as what? Hiring CSR. Right? Now we can come to B. B are important tasks, right? But they are not as urgent. They are urgent, but not, let me say, they are urgent but not as important. They are urgent but not as important. So give me a task in your team that is like question of urgent but not important in your team. That you can do it later. So A is for tasks you have to do immediately. B is for tasks that you can do later. I don't want you to use something IRE. Think outside IRE. What's that thing that it's something you can schedule to do later? When we got a UX designer, she sent first documents, but she has not signed and given feedback. That getting a feedback, is it important? Is it important to you? It is not necessarily important to you in the context. Okay, how will I do this? So you not be confused. Okay, it's important to you, but okay, it's important to you. But it's not just that she has to do no. You don't do it now, what will happen? Okay, but if you don't do it now, the company will not die. It doesn't affect your goal for the day or for the month, as the case may be. Do you understand? So that's a B level task. So when you're done with your A, you move to your B's. Are we together? Now, do you know our B and C tasks are very closely related, right? They are very closely related in the context of. So let's say, okay, let's move to E. Then I'll come back to C. E are tasks that you have to celebrate. In I, the tasks that you need to do. You can take tasks from people. D are tasks that you have to delegate. That someone else can do it on your behalf and they will understand. Take for instance, look at when you guys imagine I want to hire riders. You are not in the office. You don't have to delegate it. You delegate that someone else can do it. Right? Someone else can really do it for you without necessarily having an issue. Let's say you want to call a lot of people to come for interview. Maybe the riders. When I was saying we should call them, we should reach out to them. You can delegate that those tasks too. You can be doing it and delegating that simultaneously to hit your results. Right? So that's it. That's about that. So now the number this one attacks that if I do it, if I don't do it, it doesn't come with so much consequence. And try to call them tasks that are nice to do. Are we together? They are not important, but you can do them if you have extra time. Give me an example of in hiring tasks that are not so, they're nice to do, but they're not so important. They are not so, this is like the middle of the perspective. So they are neither important, no urgent, no important, no urgent. They are just in the middle of the spectrum. The point is, this tasks, if you do them or you do not do them, it has almost most time zero consequence to what you are doing. But there's something that if you do it, if you add to your plan, you like to be more easy for you. Imagine that every time you want to hire, you have a backlog of people that are waiting to be hired. Like I first reach out to. You know that one has no cost. If you don't do it, it doesn't affect your result. If you start doing it doesn't necessarily affect your result of hiring instantly. So that backlog is a nice to have. It does not affect it doesn't have a lot of consequences because you can call them later and none of them will be interested, just like what you're saying. But if you have it, it helps you reach out to them. Even if it's bulk SMS, you reach out to them bulk SMS first. They were hiring now for that role you applied for last time. So do we understand? So these are the most important things, right? These have minor consequence, so you can schedule them for later. This has zero consequence. This is obligating when you know that someone else can do the job perfectly and ease elimination. Are we clear? Yeah, last week we talked about task prioritization, right? Today we talk about two things. Number one, execution of tasks. And number two, giving feedback. You can prioritize your tasks and not do them. Something that I figured is that, you know why I love God and I love the way the head is designed? Anybody that will fail has a pattern to failure. Anybody that will successful has a pattern to success. Now, except the CSR, everybody's one. The first problem is that we do not know how to execute tasks and we do not know how to do it. That's why both of them go hand in hand, and that's how I'll train us on both of them today. Now, I will say that success has a pattern, failure has a pattern. Do you know when I say things like the reason a rider does not do more orders is because they don't call? How many of us felt like I was lying about it? How many of us felt like maybe you don't feel like I'm lying, but it doesn't make sense. You can't put it together because the rider does not call or communicate with the CSR team. That's why they are not doing enough order. How many of us we just struggle with failure too? honest, so nobody struggled with it when I said it. Okay, I've seen people say that they struggle with it before. That's why. Because you know, when you call, you can be guided correctly. You know people that do I too know. If they're not careful, they will fail. So now, execution of task, let's come back. How do I execute my task? See, in task execution, you know, you are only successful when your task is done. Now, there are 3 critical things to execution of tasks. Why do I need to execute my task? How do I execute my task? What do I need to execute my task? The first thing is, why do I need to get this task done? I have told us repeatedly that in a company, there is that which every joint supplies. I don't know if that's in the Bible. I don't know if it's in the Bible like that. But it says in my church, we say there is that which every joint supplies. Right? And because there is that which every joint supplies, like you must know that your tasks are very, very important to be executed. I mean, you must know that your tasks are very important to be executed. Now, you ask yourself, why do I need to get this? HR, why do we need to get more riders? We are lagging behind. And because we are lagging behind, what does it affect? Do you understand? Now, you have to get the riders because we are lagging behind. And because we are lagging behind, you know that we need more riders. Because we need more riders, because we have a projection. If we has 30 bikes as of today, and out of these 30 bikes, are you with me? Out of these 30 bikes, we have 10 presently in these premises. Out of those 10, only 2 are working. And you know, at the end of the day, having 30 bikes, do you know we're supposed to supply the 10 bikes this week? I can't even supply because we have to even move our office space. So that's one part of it. So that is your wife. Now, the question is, how do I get riders? How have you been getting riders? You can Google search more ways to get more riders, right? We can research more ways to get more riders. Now the question is, what do I need? Number one thing you need is that riders data. Or riders lead. What do I need? Now the question is also not what do I need for the how, is what do I need for the what? For the why, sorry. What do I need for the why? In the context of now you want to onboard riders. Do I need them to always okay now you want to onboard rider? How can I make the interview successful? What do I need to make the interview successful? If you are saying some riders are shown up at Kway, they don't bring their documents. It should not be happening. If you are tackling these words correctly, it should not be happening. You just tell them, oh, if you have this, they're going for this, you have this, they're going for this, you have this, they're going for this. So you can send your documents, let me see them, to make your chance of getting to Kway a success. And once they share it, you can now proceed to come for interview. You need to come with someone, we'll verify them. The what is very important. The why is very important. That you have to intensify your move. Those are the words that you need in executing your task. You need to know the why. Because if the reason is not known, abuse is what? Reason is not abuse, isn't it? By the way, it was popular quotes. If reason is not known, abuse is inevitable. So now, the how is one method to achieve my why. What are the tools I need? Also, your tools is still inclusive of business suite. I need business suite to be able to know what do I need? What do I need to get all orders executed today? And if you are working in a team, that your team lead does not necessarily is not involved in your operations, you must be able to give feedback. Look at now, this one I said from now moving forward in Kway, we are using WhatsApp, strictly WhatsApp. Let's move from these 3 things. Let's move to the ideology of goals execution or task execution. The ideology number 1. Number 1 thing people think that can make the goal done is that I have told the company, they already know. I have told Mr. Dotto, so he already knows my problem. I will now ask you, have you ever told me? You say, I've told you now. Since when? You told me 3 years ago. And I never know. When you are committed to a goal, a continuous reminder, emphasis on what? Continuous. In an event where the person is like a higher ranked person, I feel like to disturb person, you can't person, please sir, when can I come back to you over this issue? So you should do a call or you set a reminder. Can you see what I'm explaining? Continuous reminder. If the person is a higher, maybe now you told me something, or like this one I just mentioned now. Oh, okay, I've heard you. Mr. Dotto, you've heard me. When do you ask them to review this thing? When do you want to review this thing? When do you want to give me feedback on it? As such, there's a book on, I think it's Harvard Business School on giving feedback. But we'll come back to giving feedback. Let's feedback chat. So that one's episode, we're not joining together. Now, there is what we call who is with the rats. Yes, I think it's rats. Who is with the rats? Rats are annoying pests. Aren't they? So if you are with the rats, mean that you are custody of what you ideally don't want to be custody of. Do you know? When you tell me that, when should you give me feedback? You have moved the rat to my custody. And see, when you say there's a conversation that, Mr. Dotto, you use WhatsApp. Are you sure to work? In a personal laptop, maybe I'm talking to the audience. That's a conversation. You not to make sense. You will have a proper conversation that Mr. Dotto cannot say, I did not hear the conversation. A proper conversation. So you must give continuous words, continuous reminder. Number 2, in executing your tasks, remove all blockers. Remove all blockers. Blockers are generally things that don't help you, that is hindering you from achieving your task or your goal. When you want to remove all blockers, see, these blockers can be one, there are different kind of blockers. Human blockers, non-human blockers. When it comes to non-human blockers, we have tools, network provider, internet in Nigeria, we have what again? Lights, electricity. There are a lot of things, non-human blocker. But there's human blocker. Let me start with human blocker. I think there was something that happened last week that was like, get the work done. You said Bamshe was blocking you or something like that. Bamshe is a blocker. You sit Bamshe down, you have a question. Hey Bamshe, what is happening with this? Thank you. With this task. What exactly happening with this task? What exactly is happening with this task? So So you have to kind of get your feedback as regards to the task. Remove her from the block. And if you feel like you cannot talk to that person, let the senior colleague tell the person. Take for instance now, right? A rider is your blocker. Escalate the rider's issues up. I know that I can sack you because of the rider's behavior. And it's not like I'm being wicked. It's just a principle. If a rider, who know Professor Olede, former VC of Illinois, the man said something, said there are only two ways, two things that can happen in this school. A lecturer can decide to destroy you. But if the lecturer is messing up and you can destroy the lecturer, I would advise you to destroy the lecturer. He said it in a public place, he didn't say it in a private place. He said one person will destroy each other. Either the students, when it comes to issues or the lecturer. If you know you are right, I will tell you to go for it first. If a rider is your blocker, escalate it. Let's discipline the rider. If it is sanctions, let's discipline them. If you guys are doing like this for just 10 riders, what do you want to do when we get our remaining 10 bikes back? By now, HR, if you're a serious person, you will be having budgets for your ads. Have you ever asked how much are we running? How are we running our ads? Human blocker. Remove the human blocker. Now let's move to non-human blocker. Number one thing, you guys are working hybrid. And I've told you guys countless times to watch videos on how to work remotely. Remote work is as intense as the office work. Do remote hour, you're not expected to working around you. On Monday, immigration. On Thursday, bank. On Friday, markets. See, Bible said, see a man who is what? In his what? In his what? In his what? Not in going to church. So let me hit a balance. You guys already know I'm a church boy. Or man, Koko, church in the middle. So you understand the stuff I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't honor God with your time. But I'm also telling you that. See, I'm a church boy and I believe in God. But God said, give what is to Caesar to. Do you know that God could have said, give what is to God and what is to Caesar? Why do you think God says that first? If you cannot honor him, you can say, oh, you honor me, God, I cannot. So I show up in church, but I tell you what, I still do catch work. They should know that your heart is in this church. I am, but I have a company I work with. I'm not saying you should have two jobs. You people, I love that you have more than one job. I love that you so. I love it so much. In all second, honestly, I love it so much. No, I'm not lying. Because I don't like when people are doing one work. I don't like when people are lazy. I juggle, which is good. I juggle jobs. But when you are juggling job, you must use wisdom. You must apply your mind to it. But why am I saying all of this? I'm saying to let us know that remote work is more intense. It's not, you are working remotely because you're working from the house, you are not sleeping. Sleeping during work hour. If you don't sleep, it's good to have naps. I have working naps. When I'm working at home, I have naps like 1 hour. But many times I don't even do it. I'm saying all of this so that we can understand that if you're working remotely, it's not time to moving around. You stay for the system. Get a place with good internet connectivity. Get a place with good lights if possible. You don't need to be loitering around. Then you say you're going to markets. Markets. No, let's make sense of it. On Monday, you were at immigration. I cannot do stop that because I want to travel out. Immigration. On Thursday, I decided then you are bank. On Saturday, you are supposed to work with me. You had markets. It was market. Saturday was markets. Okay, good. Because I know I'm missing the date up. So Friday was bank. Saturday markets. Friday he was in bank. That was what he told me. That could not work. Saturday he was in the markets. Now let me ask you. Now, Oshitubali, imagine if I was in the markets all week long. How do we make money? So my question is, if we have people that are serious, why can't we pay them that fast? Let's just sack the rest. I don't know how you guys phone goes off. Do you know what I don't understand? I will never ever understand. Is how phone goes off. How during work hour, your phone. Do you know this? I can count the number of times my phone has never gone off. And doesn't mean I was saying places good like all the time. Am I saying places good like all the time? No. Everybody would like to go off and network issues. Because by the time you guys are saying your phone goes off, the other will say his phone is going off and you fight it like it is fine. Wait, I want to let you know. Every time I was calling me, he said the battery computer center goes. I said more than my shit give me in yellow baby. When I say those kinds, it's not like I'm not kind. I don't think before man and God that will serve, I don't think we work with. It's not a cause that I work with a more empathic boss than me. And it's not a cause. Because I work in company very well. I work in company very well. Like very, very well. So I have had enough time. People say that you're empathic team lead, you're a good team lead. When they say I'm a good team lead, most times it's just a part of empath. I've worked with smart people. And this is not asking to because he goes to a good church, because of this, because he is a kind of, he's just asking to the person that you're not working with. Finish. He does not have to anything. I'm not down not to reach you because my business I was also guys. So coming back to what I was saying, so we have tools. All your tools must be what's available. Don't use your laptop, your work laptop, to watch a movie and say battery is low. Don't use your phone to chat with boys. Don't use your phone at talking stage. Let us know the one that is editing somewhere. Let them go. Let them be. Use your phone, your devices for something fruitful. You're talking talking to nobody are close to you. Let them go. I used to say I'm close to other people. Let them go. Email one. I'm saying all of this so that we can know that there's a way to work. Your phone cannot go off during work hour. The same way your phone cannot go off, the other phone cannot go off. Nobody's phone can go off during work hour. Are we together? So your human blocker, your tools blocker, non-human blocker now, you have to remove everything. You have to work on them. Make sure you are working with the right tools. Make sure you are working in the right environment. It is not when you have a meeting that you are half naked. You are in your bed. Your eyes like this. Because I don't know who is this I'm talking. Maybe I see my head is bigger than the size that actually is. Because your eyes like this. The next thing, execution of tasks. Communication within team and across team. One of the ways we are executing communication thing, communication within team and across team. Communication across team. Think that your task is dependent on. Communicate with them. Plan them with communication until they execute. Within team, anybody that needs to know what they need to know, they have to know it. And message that is meant for my DM, don't send to the group. Then that is meant for group, send to the group. There are message like we need funds is a DM will solve that. Do you know how I look at communication? How can I go and say that goes to the riders? Because if you guys don't get it, you guys don't communicate effectively to the riders. And that's the problem. Now, if today I want to know if all riders have this lock, who am I supposed to call? I may not send it to the group. The reason I send it to the group many times is because I know that sometimes you are assisting. So there's no need to create a session group for 3 of us. That's why this man is not in the ops group, because there's nothing looking for there. You want to send me a message that I'm doing what I need to know. That's why the riders send message sometimes to just delete it. Sometimes I don't listen to it, sometimes I just got the numbers. Because if all the riders are reaching out to me like that, and everybody here are reaching out to me, at the end of the day, I'll be exhausted because I'm not human. And you that are underproductive where you're working. How much more you feeling me with your productive user information? You are trying to be productive at all costs. You're already underproductive. Now to keep attaching information. For instance now, there are some delivery there are some things that the person I need to know is Mr. Imagine the message you want to send that's this podcast that you declare a dream. I cannot send to go to group. Doesn't make any sense. Answer. That's the way some of us communicate. Look at the group. The message you want to address. If you address just one person, you can solve that in the DM. Look at the message you want to send to the group. Like the next man I want to pick up from office to this, I sent to Teams group. You see, also that group, they are in UK. All that group is in Canada. You will see message of believe you know what's happening here. That's a personal DM to catch with. It doesn't even need to be any group except to catch with DM. It's fast line. Are we together? So communication, let's do it. 3 things that can influence your execution of the task. You have to set continuous reminder as necessary. You remove all blockers. You communicate within team and across all team. And blockers include what? Human blocker, non-human blockers. Non-human blocker can be your internet, your working tools, lights, electricity, and all those things. Please, if you put all of these things in check, and also in execution of tasks, you must know the what, the why, you must know the what, the how, and you must know the what, the what. All these things are very important to make the task. Are we clear? Do you have any question? In the absence of none, let's call it a day.